Because love is the pain I had. Love. Real love. I've never had it, but craved. And I wonder why people think making fun of a man and woman together is funny, or purposely misgendering or dead naming is good. I wonder why people hate who we are so much. I wonder why people hate love and expression and people being themselves. That's why most people hide. But others endure the pain and hurt and all that. Staying in the closet is a bad thing, but love is complicated, and so is life. So why hate it? Why hate it when a man and a woman are together? Why hate it when a man and a man are together? When a woman and a woman are together? When a woman and someone non-binary are together? When a trans woman and a man are together? When a trans woman and a woman are together? When a transgender woman and another transgender woman are together? Why hate it when a trans male and another trans male are together? Why hate it when a trans male and a female are together? Why hate it when a trans male and female are together? Why hate it when somebody non-binary is dating somebody that is binary? Why hate it when a non-binary person is dating someone who's a man or a woman? Why hate it when somebody who's non-binary or goes by they them pronouns is dating somebody? Why? Why would you hate love? Honestly, just why? I wonder if people think making fun of a man and a woman isn't normal, then shouldn't making fun of any other couple together, shouldn't that not be normal? If you think that a man and a woman being together is quote unquote normal, then have you even gotten out that cave? Have you even? Because I can't comprehend the amount of times I've wanted to tell people when they make fun of people being together. I've wanted to say multiple times to them, would you make fun of them if it was a male and a female being together instead of just two people, different genders, different sex, different sexualities? You make fun, you constantly make fun of people for their sexualities. But tell me, is it funny? Is it funny to make fun of somebody who's asexual, pansexual, bi, lesbian, gay, aros, hetero? Well, is it? Is it funny? You call people who are pansexual pans. You ask, oh, do you fuck a pan? You act as if it's funny, but it's not. It really isn't. Then you go ahead and you start making jokes to the asexuals and aros, saying, oh, you'll be single forever. Oh, what are you? Are you not attracted to sex and fucking other people? You act as if it's funny. Then the moment somebody comes out, you go and say the free little word that's been through history multiple times, and you constantly harass them, calling them an FAG. GOT all day just for being themselves. Now tell me, if you can do that, if you can say, oh no, I am a straight human being, oh, and you're gay, you're lesbian, you're bisexual, you're pansexual, you're, I can't think of much more sexualities, right? Like that, it's a bit late. Then you want to say, oh, but you're this sexuality, you're trying to take our children from us, you're trying to make them trans or lesbian, you're bisexual, pansexual eros. But no, you act as if we try to take your children. So, some cis people, they look at a trans person and be like, oh yes, he, when it's obviously somebody who's told you they're going by she. Oh yes, he is very. And then when people come out, you don't make fun of them. You don't call them a TARRY. Okay, I can't spell that, but you get the drift. You don't call somebody that. That's like somebody calling the hetero people that make fun of us. I don't know, like straighties or like cis people who be rude and mean. Sissies. You don't make fun of people for being who they are. And if you honestly make fun of people for being themselves, then honestly, get a life. Get a goddamn life. Because I've seen so many people say, oh, trans people, oh, LGBTQ community are all pedophiles and trying to make your kids trans or gay, and the list goes on. But why is it that most of the time that people say that, they're actually the ones that are actually being pedophiles? Why is it that people say that LGBTQ people are pedophiles when most of the time the people who are saying that are fucking pedophiles themselves? Okay, I've been on a rant for this for like 6 minutes. But honestly, why say that? Why would you say that about anybody? Because we're all human. And if you can't handle somebody's goddamn sexuality, then why don't you just shut up and stay out of it? Because people can be whoever they want, and they shouldn't have to feel pressure to be something they're not. They shouldn't be forced into a role. They shouldn't be forced to do anything at all. They shouldn't be forced to be in fear every single day. They shouldn't be forced to go by whatever legal name is on their document. They shouldn't be forced to be straight. They shouldn't be forced to hide themselves in the closet. But society is so dangerous nowadays that a lot of people, have to stay in the closet. So why don't we try and work on having a better society where people stop making fun of transgender people and people who are celebrating pride, who are LGBTQ, who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer, non-binary. Why make fun of them for being themselves? Because it's honestly stupid sometimes how much you will hate somebody for just being themselves, for just living and being themselves. You do not know the impact it takes on somebody if you've never experienced yourself. You do not know what it's like to be called the wrong pronouns, the wrong name, then having to go through all the trouble to be yourself. If you don't know what it's like to be insulted for being yourself, to be ridiculed for being yourself, for being who you are, for being your gender, for being your goddamn self, then I don't think you have much of a valid argument here, mate. I don't think you can go judging the LGBTQ community just off stuff that people say. You haven't even taken the time to hear their goddamn side of things. Honestly. It's quite pathetic, really, when people say that they didn't mean it. When they say, oh, it's funny to call you by your dead name, by these wrong pronouns. Like, no, it ain't. If I called you by your wrong pronouns, you wouldn't even flinch. You don't even know what pronouns are. Most of you don't know what pronouns are. I've seen multiple people who don't know what pronouns, sex, and sexuality is. Let's make this quick. Sex is what gender you were born at birth. There's XY, there's XX chromosomes. There is also people who don't have those exact chromosomes where you can be intersex and other such stuff like that, and that's where you have different chromosomes. Then sexuality is the gender you're attracted to or you're not attracted to at all. Or genders, depending on the sexuality that you have, or sexualities. And romantic, like pan-romantic, yeah, okay. And what else? Gender. Gender and sex are different because sex is what you're born with at birth. Gender is what you choose for yourself, what you choose to be. There's also neopronouns. There is the basics, he, they, she, her, hers, his, its. There is other ones. There is neopronouns, which is these, or etc., etc. It goes on, and if you can't let people be their goddamn selves, then mate, what do you mean that you're respecting people when you're not? Honestly, most of us, and I say that as a trans person, most of us just want to live in a society where we won't be ridiculed or insulted, where we can live in goddamn peace, where we can live without having to hide ourselves, where we can live without having to deal with all the bullying after we come out, where we can live with actual good healthcare, where we can live and actually be living for ourselves and being who we want to be and who we are. And if you can't accept us, then what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't care if you're going to use the excuse, oh, I'm Christian, oh, I can't be near you or friends with you because I'm Christian. Because religion shouldn't have hate in it. It shouldn't have something which is like, oh, I'm Christian, you should repent to God because you can't be this gender because you were born this gender. You can't be. But they don't understand the difference between gender and sex. So they just say gender instead of sex. What they really mean is the quote unquote you can't be that gender because you were born that sex. But really, you can be whatever you want. And religion shouldn't tear people and communities apart. Religion shouldn't be in the way of saying, oh, this person's worth living. You honestly don't know how much trying to force your religion on people hurts. So why don't you think before you text? Why don't you think before you talk to people?